not. So, let's jump right into the recap. Last we left off, our heroes, Erlon, Melee, Leander, Jar, and Gilroy ventured deep into the Everdark Forest, intent on finding reagents that maintain the magical defenses of the nearby town of Waterwheel. As they entered the boggy forest, they experienced an intense feeling of being watched over, and forewarnings of frost giants and evil druids were fresh on everybody's mind. Trudging forward through the muddy terrain, our party stumbled across, or were directed towards, a large stone spire, an ancient giantess structure. With the sun lowering, our party entered the spire, and soon found a hidden entrance into to a cavern which led deep underground. Deciding that there was no point in resting if they could be ambushed from below, our party delved into the cavern. Jar scouted forward and found that the caverns led to a long-lost subterranean ruin, which at the time was occupied by dark dwarves. With some stealth and some brute strength, our party dispatched the forward guard of the vile dark dwarf clan. Our party looted the clan's sleeping quarters, finding a chest full of gold, as well as a talking snake, the familiar of some druid who had been locked away. Jar scouted forward once again and found the druid within the dark dwarf's torture chamber. The druid had been bound with enchanted adamantium shackles, preventing him from using his magics to escape. He promised power and information if the party set him free, and after quietly dispatching his jailer, Gilroy did just that. The druid informed them of a discarded scroll hidden away elsewhere in the dungeon, before slithering off in the form of a python. Our party skillfully slayed the remaining dark dwarves, including the clan's leader, and found a large pillared chamber with a huge lizard man statue which possessed magical qualities. The party managed to discover a hidden compartment, but in doing so had to battle with two large water elementals. Using magical attacks and strategic positioning, our party managed to defeat the two guardians, finding the compartment held a stash of powerful magical weapons and artifacts. Searching through the remaining ruins, our party managed to find the discarded scroll, and after a decent night's rest, re-emerged to the surface, leaving the Everdark Forest and embarking west into the mountains. After some travel, they located the tree which grows the reagents they seek, as well as a group of frost giants which block their path. I'll cut us on over to the Wildlands map.
Getting right into it tonight.
Yes!
Yeah. Starting off.
So you guys
In a big way.
Yeah.
are down over here,
Okay.
and your frost giant adversaries, you note, seem to be playing with some flaming seeds up that way, by the entrance to this cave and this peculiar tree.
And so that's the tree we presume
Yeah.
is the seeds right next to it.
Its branches are covered in rows of large black seeds which drip a oozing brown oil. No doubt what you're looking for. However, these frost giants do not seem intent on leaving this place. They also haven't taken note of you yet, so you have a chance to take some positioning. It's a bit of a ravine before you, with two ledges to the southeast and northwest.
So they're on the high ground.
Well, at least one of them is.
Right. Okay.
Melee. Maybe you can take a shot at that, whatever they're tossing around.
The seed?
Who knows?
I like to get behind a tree first, but can reach on them. Can I go up to...
Reposition up near, like, the top of this ridge up that
Yeah.
way? Sure.
I can do that.
And you overhear them grumbling along in giantish speech, seemingly having a rapacious time with this game they've invented, and seem rather distracted, so you have more than enough time to set up a shot if you wanted to.
Do you guys want to get behind something so that they don't immediately turn to you?
Let's say you just
Yeah,
start us
you
off.
can.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
think
say,
Jar might try to head up the ridge a little bit as well
Yeah.
and hide in those
Feel better in
trees.
that spot.
Sure.
Alright.
I'll bring you up along over this way,
Oh, that's good.
and then,
You want me to shoot the seed as they're throwing it? I
Yeah,
can
I'd
do
like.
that.
okay, give it a go, yeah, hell yeah!
Sorry.
Just make an attack roll.
18?
18? I'd say the seed doesn't have an AC over 18. So let me throw some dexterity saving throws, and let's see who's getting burned. Oh, that one isn't in particular, which means he is. So this one in the back suddenly drops the seed as it is thrown towards him, and the ground beneath him, as it rolls beneath his feet, lights with flame. And he seems to be burning up his pants. The thick leather of his pants is now burning on fire, covered in oil, and he's trying to pat it out. The other giants seem to turn towards him and start laughing, as though this was an expected occurrence of this game. And he's going to be taking 10 damage. However, he knows that he shouldn't have missed that, and he's going to begin attempting to perceive your position. And he does pretty well. He's going to point over probably towards Leander, catching your armor glinting in the sunlight, and in giantish grumbles out, "Rum tukut smuck!" And all the rest turn in your direction. It's time to roll initiative. They're doing pretty well.
Oh, Melee. Once again, on the ball.
Not to mention, look at her initiative.
Yeah, for real.
Good.
I don't think even dragons could beat that.
Don't say that. I'll roll a 1 next time.
Sorry.
So these giants were at the ready on guard with a 21 on their initiative. What did you get, Melee?
27.
27. Way more alert than them. Jar.
17.
17. Erlon.
13.
13. Gilroy.
4.
Always ready to go.
Below a 21, what difference does it make? I could have rolled a 19, I'd be in the same spot. So.
Always with his nose in books.
Yeah.
I always picture you just like taking notes and like, oh, we gotta like.
Yeah, things happening. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Leander.
Leander got a 10.
10. Nice and average.
Yep. That's Leander.
So, Melee, they don't seem to be particularly looking towards you, but they're definitely looking in that direction, so.
Are any. They were only throwing around the one seed, there's no more of them around.
The one next to the tree seems to be already picking away at one and setting it alight with a small torch.
Okay. That's promising.
A small torch?
Yeah, it's a human-sized torch.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a
So
like
a
match to
frost
him.
giant lighter?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the one that's on fire
Okay,
with sharpshooter.
heck yeah.
It's a crit.
Yeah.
Yes!
So I know I always need your help when I do that.
Most definitely.
So it's
With your magic longbow, so that's +5.
so 8.
8 in total, and then with sharpshooter.
Oh no, it was with sharpshooter. That's right. So it was actually
20.
18? Yeah. Yes, it pierces straight through the heavy chain links of his mail armor, and you get another attack.
The whole thing?
Yeah, double the dice, and then the
Okay,
sharpshooter.
that seems right. Okay, so
Then another attack.
yep,
Yeah.
same one.
Same one?
Same thing.
We did
Poor guy.
Yeah, that's okay. 13?
Not quite.
12, sorry. So either way, it didn't.
No. That one you see pierces into his notably thick skin, which will bring us to them.
Great.
Yes. So this one's going to charge forth. He's going to be at the ready, waving his great axe about in the air. This one by the tree, does he have the range on you? Almost no doubt. He's going to be throwing a seed. And he's going to throw it at you, Leander.
Yep.
A 21.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So right next to you.
It bounces off my shield. My new mithril shield.
The seed rolls across the ground, setting it ablaze. And that seems to be persistent.
Uh-oh.
And then the one that was on fire is going to move out of the fire and go into these trees. Not exactly hiding, but trying to get some cover from the onslaught of arrows that comes in his direction, which will bring us to Jar.
Okay, so Jar's gonna move up next to Melee there,
Sure.
in the trees, trying to stay hidden. Shall I roll a
Yeah, you can roll stealth if you want.
tray there? That's 26. He's just going to fairy fire the one that's front and center, heading for
Okay.
Leander.
Sure. What's your DC on that?
The spell DC is 13.
He fails.
All right.
So he begins glowing a bright purple, right?
Yes, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Should bring us to Erlon.
So I take out my new great sword and I just swing it around with the red iron,
Yep.
and I call out to Walter, "Let's show them true strength!" And then I rush towards the one that's front and center and fairy fired. My movement is 40, so I'm not sure.
40. 40
have to
you'd be able to
dash.
make it to about here without dashing.
Throw your.
Yeah,
Good
I was
throw,
saying.
yeah.
I go, then throw the returning great axe or hand axe at it
Sure,
instead.
let's see it.
And that is 18.
Yes.
Nice.
You also have advantage. You might get a natural 20.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. No.
But,
That's alright. Let's see. That is 7 damage.
7 damage.
nice.
And I return it to my hand.
Yep, whips through the air, slashes into his forearm, and gives him a deep cut, and then continues spinning back into your hand. And that was an attack and a movement, yeah, so you stay there for now.
Yeah.
Which will bring us to Leander.
Right, and I think Leander's just gonna. So he's on his horse, presumably,
Yep.
or else this is gonna be a real slow.
No, you got your horse back out of
yeah,
the fire. Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I'll move 60 up. Probably gonna do about where Erlon is.
40, 45, 50, 55, 60.
Yep, that's what I expected. And I guess he'll chuck a javelin
Sure.
or two at him.
From horseback?
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Did you ever name that horse?
No, not yet. He can name himself eventually, I think.
When he gains sentience?
he's like as smart as a kid.
Roger.
Roger. No,
Roger's my name.
Sure, we'll go until he does something pretty badass. We'll go with Roger.
And I will be Roger the Great.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a 15.
That hits.
All right. These are just normal javelins. I need to buy something better than for 4 damage.
Oof.
Well, I had advantage on that, but
Better than
Doesn't matter.
peasant javelins.
and I'll chuck another one. 20,
Yes.
22, yeah. For 8 damage.
All right. Gilroy.
All right. Do I have any sort of cover within range of
Yeah, these
walking distance?
low trees here.
All right. I guess I'll hide behind the trees. And then, do you think could I collapse the side of that hill with erupting earth
Ooh.
that the one is standing on?
The one is standing on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably could.
Okay. I will cast erupting earth, sort of centered on the lip of that.
So am I to make
This one here.
a saving throw
Yeah.
of sorts?
Yes, it is a dex save.
Okay. He's gonna fail.
Okay. 3d12 damage.
I see why you're using that spell.
Yeah.
I don't know if I realized before, but it's because it uses D12.
Yeah, use the coolest die. Oh, nice. You even got a token for it.
Yeah, I was at the ready.
So, what effect might that have? Oh, my intention was to collapse it and have him, like, fall to the...
Yeah, and that's essentially what happens. The ground beneath him begins to quake. He cannot get a footing. He begins to slide down the hill. He'll also get hit by a bunch of rocks.
Right. For 20 damage.
It's pretty significant.
Nice.
Awesome. Gilroy summons up some arcane power, which brings us back to melee.
Well, you guys are almost at that front one. So the one that Gilroy just toppled over.
Sure.
The new sharpshooter.
A nat 20!
Alrighty then.
Melee!
I want new dice.
Yeah, right?
So just the die is doubled, right? Not the
Yes, the
so
die.
12.
So it's 12 plus 15.
plus your
We're looking.
your magical longbow, so it's 12 plus 5 is 17.
Okay. So
And then plus 10?
Yes.
good
yeah,
to
it is-
sit with
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a shiny.
Yes.
27?
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
no worries, that's the way the game goes.
Sharpshooter
Sorry.
and crits
Between navigating
makes
my
it
sheet and
a
your
little bit
That's what I
more.
pointed out.
No, we got it.
You got another shot to.
Alright. Oh,
Bailey's
yes.
the most complex archer.
I'm going
She's-
to
she's
shoot
getting
him
there.
again.
You'd never think that slinging arrows would be so difficult.
18,
Got him.
Man.
17.
17 damage.
Melee average is like 35 damage a turn.
As this frost giant is getting back to his feet from the ground, shaking beneath him and the rocks flying up and smacking him in the face, you sink 2 arrows deep into his shoulder, which will bring us to the frost giant. He pretty well knows your position now, and he's gonna grab some of that rubble up in his hands and whip it in your direction. With a 2! So, no, that one's gonna miss.
Alright.
The one that is glowing will meet your challenge, Leander.
All right.
He runs up. He's gonna miss with his first attack. He's gonna miss with his second attack, so whoosh, whoosh, your horse deftly maneuvers out of the way. This one is gonna run up on top of this hill and throw a boulder at you, Erlon. It does a 22. So that'll be 28 damage.
Is that after the?
Oh, are you raging?
Yeah.
14 damage. Now I got it marked. The one with the seeds in the back, who does he want to throw at? I think honestly he sees this constant barrage of arrows. Yeah, throw it up towards that tree. He is going to miss, however, that does not stop the tree from being lit ablaze.
Maybe they should plant these seeds rather than just coming all the way over here to.
We'll have to suggest it when we get back.
You think they haven't thought of that?
Maybe it's not the right ground to grow in.
Jar, your go.
Ugh, damn it, Melee, I need to stop standing next to you. Is Jar still hidden?
You are still hidden.
Okay.
They know where Melee is, they didn't know that you were there.
Right. So Jar will take a shot at the one front and center.
Sure.
He's very fired.
Yeah, you see him rearing back with a boulder. He's getting ready to throw another one at Erlon.
Oh, yes.
20.
20, so that does...
My poor giants.
Didn't roll well on the damage, though, so a total of 8.
8 damage?
And then Jar will head south on the map into the middle of that thicket. That's about...
Right down this way.
Probably.
Yes, right there, yes.
Yes.
Cool.
And he'll attempt to hide there.
Sure. Yeah. Bonus action.
Yep, and that's 25.
Nice. You're feeling quite well hidden in that underbrush. Which will bring us to Erlon.
So yeah, after getting clipped by that rock, I put the returning hand axe away and I swing the great axe around my head and start doing a chant from my tribe.
Yes.
As I rush in to just slash him right in hack him right in the stomach.
The one on
that threw
top
the
of the
boulder.
hill or the one Leander's engaged with?
The one that threw the boulder at me.
Alright. Scramble on up that way. More than fast enough with your barbarian training. You managed to leap up atop that ridge. Let's see it.
Alright, and I'm gonna recklessly just hack at him. I rolled both 17s, so plus 8, 25.
25.
Now I get to roll d12 too.
Yeah.
See it, yes.
And that is 9 damage.
9 damage. It cuts clean.
And I'll go at him again. Natural 20.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
Oh, now we get to see it, because this great axe rolls an extra d12 on critical hits, and then you double both of those.
Jesus.
This one right
Yeah.
here.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Just got that thing.
Oh man, 11 plus 7 is
18.
18 times 2 is
36.
36.
Wow.
Plus 5 is 41.
41 damage!
Glad I'm not that giant.
Yeah. So with that first one, you're getting the feel for the weight of this axe, and you slash and hit him right in the calves, and he goes down to his knees with the force of your strike, and you take it and immediately whipping it above your head, slash him right under the neck and get a great cut in, and he seems to be holding back as he recoils from the might of that blow. And you nearly killed him in one hit. Leander, your go.
All right, Leander. Show him what you got. Yeah, Leander's just gonna swing right into him using Frost Brand.
Yes. And you have advantage.
Yep. A 20.
My God,
Giant Schmiance. I'm gonna make that a level 2 Divine Smite.
what a surprise.
You pretty much got on crits, right? Like, oh yeah. So 12, 17, 19. 19 times 2.
It's 38.
38 plus 4, yeah, so 42 damage.
42 damage.
Still take half
Fun
of
of
it.
that.
Leander glances up the way, he's like, Erlon's got that, huh?
And I'll swing on again. A 18.
Yes. Of course, the resilient creatures they are, despite your thunderous blows between you two, they're still standing and fighting.
Yep, and this will just be a regular Divine Smite.
Okay.
Once again, this, the Frostband, on top of its cold air radiating from it, glows white and cuts straight into him, doing 17 damage,
Okay.
leaving a clean, white-hot cut.
Your warriors are hacking away at these guys. Which brings us to Gilroy.
Alright, I see the... I feel like, yeah, these guys have the sort of front lines taken care of.
Sure.
The one at the bottom of the hill now is a little disadvantaged.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to focus on the guy throwing the seeds.
Yes.
I think I will... I think I'll shrink him.
Okay.
I'll shrink the guy in the back.
Makes sense.
Right.
He's gonna fail.
Alright, so he's reduced disadvantage on strength checks. He's embarrassed. and minus 1d4 damage.
Okay.
That's my turn.
He's still a large creature.
Right. I figured, he might not be able to throw as well.
Fair enough.
That's my thought.
Melee.
I'm not gonna stay in the fire.
Yeah, they have eyes on you.
So I'm gonna run. I'm just gonna hang back to that next set of trees
Sure.
behind me.
Draw back a little bit. Like that?
Yes. And the same one that I've been trying to shoot that fell down the hill.
Sure.
I'm gonna use sharpshooter and try and hit him.
Sounds good.
11.
Not quite.
Try again.
I'd say that's a 19.
I'd say you could stack a die on top of that, right? You just put, yeah. Right?
Right? Reroll it.
Reroll.
It's one less.
Okay, so you definitely hit.
Alright. Not
It looked
as
like
good,
it, yeah.
but-
23 still hits.
Yeah.
Oh, max damage.
So 8 plus 15.
23. Wow. Another arrow sinks deep into that poor frost giant. Let's see. That brings it to them. He's going to try and reposition up this way, stumbling through the muck and rubble.
It's difficult terrain.
It is. That's as far as he's going. He's going to pick up another scoop of it, and he hates you, Melee. Natural 20. Oof.
Okay.
So that's going to be 56 damage.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Bringing Melee down to 12. This one is going to slash at Erlon.
Alright,
solid hit.
Yeah, that one comes down very accurately and probably shatters a shoulder real quick. You are sprawling on the ground and get back to your feet. Definitely in pain, but fighting through it. 2 slashes on Erlon. That's going to be a 19. So, what do they deal on there? Just a second.
7 damage.
13 slashing damage to Erlon on that one.
Okay.
Was that half?
Yes. 25 if they were to really hit. And a miss. 2 on Leander. A 25.
Yep, that one hits.
25 damage.
I'm going to move Walter
Okay.
to protect Leander.
All
Thanks
right,
again.
actually 23 or 22, and then minus,
Minus 6 damage.
so minus 6. So
16?
Yep.
16, which means that you get 9 health back.
Yes. Oh, and minus 3.
Yes,
oh,
I
right.
did
Yes,
that,
you
yeah.
did that. That was the 22.
And
Okay.
then he misses with his second attack, and then the one that has been shrunk grabs a seed, but has to reposition to get any sort of good view on you guys, and is kind of just peering out over the battlefield and doesn't get a throw in, which will bring us to Jar.
All right. Jar presumably could notice Melee like eating a rock
Yeah,
with
that
her
one that
face.
definitely looked like it hurt. Yeah.
Okay. Can you Jar reach her?
15, 20, 25, 30, perfectly. Yeah.
So Jar's gonna run over and he's going to upcast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
2d8. 3. 10. So total of 12
Plus 12?
healing. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
And then he's gonna just the bonus action just hide in the bush.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, 24.
Yes, you
Okay.
feel well then. Melee, some assistance comes out from the brush, and quickly he comes up with you with a touch that suddenly makes some of the pain go away, numbs the wounds that you've received, and a bit of a surprise coming from this drow that he possesses healing magics as such.
Damn it! Now I'm standing next to you again.
Dangerous.
Erlon, your go.
Alright, so I plant my feet, putting myself in a vulnerable position, giving myself, the ability to reckless attack and
Sure.
really do some damage. And I'm also looking, now that I've cut him, I want to hit him in the same spot, because I know I hit them really hard.
Yes.
So I'm going to use my Great Weapon Master with advantage.
Okay.
Nice.
Oops, I accidentally rolled a d12.
We just love those things so much.
So that was only a 10.
Miss on that one.
Yeah, alright. So I go again, and that's a 13.
Whoosh. Not that time. Leander.
Man, lucky for us, Melee's tough as nails.
Yeah, for real.
Gilroy, you would have been
Yep.
knocked down
Yep.
from that. But yeah, Leander's just going to keep swinging down on this frost giant.
Okay.
Oh no. Yep, that is with advantage. A 11.
Whoosh.
No. Yep, another miss. Swinging again. Nat 20.
All right.
You
Take
know,
it down.
you know what's coming.
Bring the hurt.
Yep. Torm.
Smite.
Yep. Level 2 Divine Smite. Leander knows that this strike was gonna strike true. He knew he had an opening from his first attack.
Yep.
Sword glowing bright white.
Looks good to me.
It's gonna be 18 times 2 plus 4.
36, 40 damage.
40 damage.
Yes, another stab that goes deep. And he recoils from that, and the wound glows the bright white of your divine slashes, and he seems nearly off his feet, which will bring us to Gilroy.
Can you double shrink someone?
I don't think so.
Okay, just wanted to check. All right, well, feeling that threat is sufficiently taken care of, I see he's now moved a little further from the tree.
Mm-hmm.
I think I will... roll with advantage against the one.
Leander's fighting?
Yeah, Leander's fighting with Scorching Ray.
Sounds good.
Which I'm going to. I gotta roll for each ray.
Yep, 3 attacks.
So I position myself around the tree, extend my staff, and out comes 3 red-hot laser beams. Well, that's 15.
That's a hit.
Okay. 19.
Hit.
And a 25.
Finally got him with all 3.
Yeah, I know, right? I was really hoping to roll a crit. I never roll enough dice to see one, so. Because they're always saving against my stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
8, 12, 14, 19.
That's it.
Yep.
He had 19 health.
Nice.
So, as he's stumbling back from your onslaught, Leander, atop your mount, slashing and stabbing into him, 3 scorching rays blast him across the chest, and with a black smoke emitting from the wound, he falls back with a thunderous crash, which will bring us from Gilroy to Melee. Melee, those healing potions.
I'm gonna say we had
You had a lot of greater ones. Or
6 of those, I think, is
yeah.
from the party.
And I know at least a few of them ended up in your pockets.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna use second wind though.
Definitely, that as well.
Heard that. So 14.
Yep.
Nice.
How's it work?
It's a D10 plus your fighter level. So
She rolled,
Yeah, she
7
rolled
plus
7 plus 7.
Yeah. So yeah, 14 health back quick here.
That's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. You take a quick breather, refocus, and again, just mentally force yourself through the pain as you have in times past, and find yourself having more than enough constitution to continue along through this fight. Now, which one deserves the pain?
The one that's been throwing the boulders at me.
Yeah, that dude's a jerk.
So, with sharpshooter, 20.
All right.
So 23.
23. He is nearly down. Yet still standing.
Still get another shot, don't you?
Oh,
Yep.
yes, I do. Oh, let me just check off I use that. Okay.
Took the attack action, so you get some attacks.
So I'm going to do the same thing.
Okay.
15,
Yes, that is their AC.
20.
For 20. Oh, he's barely still up. Bleeding heavily, looking like a pincushion.
Oh, now he's gonna be able to throw a boulder.
Yeah, he's gonna give it
I
a
was really
try.
hoping I could.
He misses.
Oh, good.
Here's the 2 attacks against Erlon. A 18, so that's gonna be 13 damage.
Okay.
And this misses on the second one. The one before Leander has fallen, and the mini one is going to throw a flaming seed at you, Leander.
All right.
A 23,
That is my AC.
30 damage.
I'm moving
30?
Walter to.
To block some?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm resistant to fire.
You are. Oh, yeah, okay. So now I have to do new math. 22.
New man.
10 damage. Walter diverts.
12 damage.
Or, yeah.
-3.
My minus 15 of it is bludgeoning. So 9 damage.
Where was the Walter when I got hit?
Oh
I think I
no.
already used it that turn. Oh no, because it was the start of the round. You know,
He's just not used to doing
I'm
that.
with my battle brother. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was a combination of many things.
So, the ground around you ignites. And I actually give you a second to make that not look so goofy. To back. Oh, not that far back. Well, she gone.
And then all the fire went out.
Yeah, it's alright. They would burn out eventually anyway. Whose turn was it? That was my go.
That was right after the giant.
So, Jar, your go.
Jar's turn. Okay. Jar's hidden. Jar's going to shoot the southernmost one. He's still standing. Yeah?
Yes, indeed.
All right. Jar will shoot at him from the cover there, and fail miserably. And then Jar is going to dart north into the trees,
Okay.
and he can make it to the tree line. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
And try to hide again. For 14.
You have a feeling that you've hidden better than this before.
It's because of the bad shot.
Yeah, rattled me.
Erlon, your go.
Alright, so again, I plant my feet, getting more angry, and I'm just screaming in his face, frothing at the mouth.
Yes.
15.
That is, yeah.
If it stops rolling. 14 damage.
14 damage,
Nice.
okay.
And then I'll attack again. That's 16,
Yep.
and 10 more damage.
10. Slice, slice. Seems to be going down at that rate. Leander, the ground around you is ablaze.
Yeah, I'm getting out of there.
Okay.
If I could move 60 feet towards the small giant. the small giant.
30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. It's perfect.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Did you want to be?
Can we say I tossed a javelin on my way by? Towards the super injured one up there?
Sure.
Alright.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll die, but... No, it's not gonna
Yeah.
die. A 10. So, but,
At least you
I don't know,
made
could
the
I make an
effort.
attack against the one I ran up to? Or?
So what you could do is throw a javelin at it.
I only got 3 javelins.
And you can make it up to him.
Alright, that's alright.
Okay, so that's Leander Gilroy. There's a blaze starting in these trees before you. The giant that you scorching raid has fallen. It seems like Erlon's still in the midst of battle.
Yeah, I'll move to like the other side of that copse of trees,
To the north or south?
to the north,
Okay.
away from the blaze. Like still, yeah, sort of within it, but on the opposite end. And then, how's that guy? I see that guy climbed back up to the top of the
Yeah.
bridge. Well, can't have that. So I will palm out some magic missiles.
Okay. Throw your damage.
Was it one time?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Every time.
I
it must
know.
be confirmed.
And I'll make it level 2.
Okay.
It's 3 times 4 is 12, 15.
Got him. Falls to the ground, stumbling down the hill. Which will bring us to melee. Got the mini giant,
Well,
the oxymoron giant.
I am. I'm gonna go for the mini giant.
Okay.
Attack. With sharpshooter. 22,
Yes.
Nice.
16.
16. Thunk. Another attack.
Oh yes. I keep forgetting I have a second.
Yep.
Actually, the one that's fighting Erlon.
Sure.
I'm gonna go for it with this one. 14.
Not quite.
Sorry.
2 attacks against Erlon. A miss. And a hit for 13. Two attacks against Leander. A natural 1. And a miss. So no. Jar.
How far is he from the one that's the southernmost that's standing? The one large giant left.
It's like about 50 feet.
About 50 feet.
Yeah.
So Jar's just going to point at him, vicious mockingly. Sit down, you fat ass!
That's a save on my part.
That's a wisdom save, I believe. Yeah.
Fail.
Nice.
8.
8 damage.
Psychic. Yep.
With one hand, he's holding the wound he got across his neck from Erlon's great axe slash, and then he starts reaching for his ears as your mocking words pierce his psyche, which will bring us to Erlon.
So I hear you shout that, and I look over to you, and I, yeah, fat ass, sit down. Get him recklessly. And that is 23.
Yes.
And 14 damage.
Okay.
First attack.
He's reeling.
Natural 1.
Whoosh. Which will bring us to Leander.
Right, I guess I'll start cutting this guy down.
Sounds good.
21?
Yes.
Just a level 1. Oof. Oh, no, not that bad. 16 damage.
Okay.
And then another swing at him. That's gonna be, no, a 13.
Nope. Gilroy.
Alright, I think I will just leave my hand out and do another magic missile at the one Erlon's fighting.
Okay.
4, 6, 9 damage.
You got him.
Just call me the finisher.
More like kill steal.
Sorry. It frees you up, you know? I'm an opportunist.
Mainly your go.
I am going to stay where I am and use sharpshooter for the remaining.
Sure. Yeah, you can
It's
launch
fighting
arrows
Leander.
down that ridge.
15.
Yep.
Nice.
16.
Okay.
And then same thing.
Yep.
No.
No.
I miss.
He's gonna make 2 attacks against Leander. A miss. And a miss. Jar.
Okay, Jar wants to use his bonus action to dash
Okay.
forward as close
Towards the ridge.
towards the ridge, and can he get beyond the ridge dashing?
25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 would get you right there.
So he'll just dash there,
Okay.
then, and he'll use his action to take a shot at
Said mini giant.
the mini giant. Yes. Come on, get the tray. And no.
Phew! Which will bring us to Erlon.
Right. Yeah, I look at the mini one right away and just run towards it, axe in the air. Ah!
Alright. 30, 35, 40. You want dash?
Yeah, I'll dash up and end up flanking.
Okay. That's good to me.
Nice.
Which will bring us to Leander. Still atop your horse.
I don't have very much left in terms of divine power. And without advantage, I really don't hit that much. But I'll take a swing at him. 9.
No!
And another swing. 17.
Yes.
I'll make it a level 1.
Divine something or other.
Oof. For 9 damage.
Slice.
You've done a good job, Leander. But now you're not doing anything.
Gilroy.
Yeah. I suppose I'll... Oh, you know what I'll do? Gilroy thinks for a second, like, oh, what am I going to do? And then he remembers the knife in his pocket that has magic missile charged in it.
Yes.
And so he'll walk forward, drawing the knife, and just loose some magic missiles from that magic item he got so long ago.
Sure.
It's not a roll. This is a roll. Nope. 4, 6 damage.
You started off so strong.
Yeah, I know.
With the smoldering frost giant to your south, and one cut to bits to your north, one laying in a pile of rubble. Just beyond that, you walk forward and unleash some magical bolts from your dagger. which brings us to melee.
I'm still happy where I am.
Yeah, you can
So
arc
I'm gonna
arrows over
move-
that
yeah.
ridge all day.
I'm gonna with sharpshooter. Natural one. Well,
Oh, hell, the turntables.
10.
Nope, not
Yeah.
those
This
times.
mini giant is really.
We're all getting old.
Yeah, right? He's the boss. The everlasting father. That is going to be a 24 to hit you, Leander. So he's going to be dealing
It deals 1d4 less.
-4. So 21, 18,
5 less.
13 damage.
It's like you were
Nice.
raging.
Yeah, exactly. And then his second slash, he misses. Jar.
Jar would like to dash behind him and use the help action if it's possible from where he's at.
Sure. So, like, use help for who?
He wants to try to physically get behind the mini giant and use the help action.
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah.
Just give advantage on attacks against the giant.
Start distracting it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
You totally do that. Erlon.
Hey, Fatso, look at me!
And he does! And he begins swinging and slashing his great axe in wide sweeps in your direction.
I hope they kill him now.
So when he does that again, I laugh. I'm like, ha ha! And I run forward. You know, I get advantage on him too, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be reckless or anything.
and I'll use Great Weapon Master to just try to hack him right in the back of the skull.
Let's see it.
That is 15.
Yes!
Nice.
That's 8 plus 17 is 25.
25.
Nice.
Pretty much exactly what you were going for.
And I'll go again. Still advantage.
Yep.
And that is 26
Definitely a hit.
Yep.
for 16 more damage.
16.
Nice.
2 hefty axe blows into the back of the head and the neck. This thing is quite injured. To bring us to Leander.
Right. Just gonna swing at this guy. Now that he's got his back turned to me. 21
Yep.
for 8 damage.
Okay.
And a 19.
Yep.
I'll finish him off. With the last of my divine power. Smite him down. 12, 14, 18, 22.
Ooh. Very close.
Time for Gilroy!
Not again!
Okay, I'll continue walking forward, seeing this thing swaying, seeing my allies around it, ready to steal the glory.
I can almost see Gilroy laughing just like you are.
Yeah. And do I get advantage? Or is it just in melee?
I think it's on
think
ranged attacks
everybody-
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will just do Firebolt.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, nat 20!
Nice.
It's basically doing 4d10.
Yep.
Well done.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
For, oh shit, 30 damage! Firebolt! And he cackles!
Oh no! Oh no!
Jeez.
Well, he was trying to get a reach on the back of his head from those axe strikes that chopped right into his skull, and by the time he's whipping back towards Erlon, a few beams of scorching rays come smashing into the side of his face and leave just burning coals as he stumbles to the ground,
More like a fireball, more like instead
Yeah,
of a
it
firebolt.
was, yeah.
defeated. You guys probably all reconvene together. And the area goes silent. The noises of the forest return around you as the battle has concluded. And you have So the tree went under the map with all the fire, but things happen. And the seeds are easy enough to collect, though they inadvertently cover your hands and forearms with oil. Within 10 minutes' time, you have the requested amount stocked away. As you look at the cave entrance, just the other notable feature of this area, the cave entrance is over 30 feet tall and more than wide enough for a frost giant, though deeper within, a large mossy boulder blocks your way. And before that boulder is some runes, which Erlon, you see read out in Giantish. Only those possessing the blood of the everlasting Father are permitted entrance.
I relate that to the group.
All right.
I don't suppose that's me?
And I look at Gilroy too, because I think we had a conversation about this before.
We did, yeah.
Sounds like a lot like not our business, and we should just.
But we can make it our business. It might be profitable.
I think I'm going to, with me being able to understand giant and stuff now, just kind of coyly just try to move the boulder aside.
Sure, you give it a go, but it doesn't seem like there's any mechanism responding to your actions at the moment.
Okay.
Try putting on like a wig and sing like whippersnappers or something.
This is serious business, Bailey. These are old temples.
Well, I suppose it's time to head back then.
And you begin trudging back towards Waterwheel.
Right.
Though, Erlon, you certainly take note. That cave up there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you venture back towards Waterwheel, and your pace feels far faster upon returning than setting out, especially once you reach the stone bridge where you had fought the frost giants prior to entering the forest. And before long, you can see the ridges and grand waterfall of Waterwheel, and swiftly you find yourselves at the gate where none other than Fralthane stands at guard. And he walks up to you, and in much the same gesture that the original ogre gave to you, he gives a slight bow and goes, "Welcome to Waterwheel! Oh, it's you! Hello, friends! I guard the gate now ever since the halfling gave me a hand down at the market."
Oh, the what?
The halfling, Bill Burry. He knows what to look for when it comes to finding little thieves.
He gave you a heads up, did he?
Or maybe he set something up, but one way or another, I got a promotion.
Well, that's good.
The horn looks good on you.
Yes! I love the horns. You go on inside. I'll see you at Rotbeard's later.
Sounds good.
Keep up the good work, Fralthane.
He has a wide grin as you step through the gates and once again find yourselves within Waterwheel. The Waterwheel is in the same general state as last time, with all manner of peoples going about their daily lives, drawn together and allied by a blissful unawareness or reluctance to face the dangers outside their wall and beyond the lightning gate. Clouds begin to gather to the southwest, and it seems as though the sunny weather you've enjoyed since arriving at Karadmoren is soon to come to an end. You can see that Singstalter awaits you up the road near Rotbeard's brewery and open market. He's tapping his foot and staring up towards the lightning gate, which appears to be faltering. Yellow sparks shoot from the metallic orbs. When he sees your approach, he sprints right up to you. Amazing! Fantastic! You've got the seeds. Quickly, to Milbog! And he grabs Erlon's hand. And with no regard for, how you feel about it, begins sprinting forth, pushing past dwarves and lizard men and hobgoblins. And quickly now, no time to waste. And sprints up. Once again, you're atop that plateau next to the waterfall, where the Mechanics Union does their work. And Singstalter pulls out a very peculiar-looking key with whirring gyros and cogs, and sticks it in the front door of the Mechanics Union base, unlocking the door beneath the soot-covered sign, permitting you entrance inside. And a burst of black smoke billows out from the doorway upon its opening. But this does nothing to impede Singstalter as he walks in, calling out, "Milbog! Milbog!" The inside of the building is filled with workbenches, each one covered in tools for various work, from gem polishing to alchemical studies to stonework, and some less obvious. A handful of industrious gnomes work away at personal projects, and at the head of the structure sits an older gnome with a brownish wrinkled face, and an apron that suggests he's survived countless gnome experiments, as it's covered with tears and scorch marks and acid burns. And the old gnome calls out, "Singstalter, what have you brought me, my boy?" And Singstalter responds, "The seeds! We've got them! We can make the oil!" The elder gnome hobbles out of his seat and makes his way towards you. He reaches out his hands expectantly, wincing as he looks up towards you.
I'll reach into my handy haversack and place the seeds in his hand.
He weighs them and lets the oil slip between his fingers and drip to the floor below, and he goes, yes, these should do quite nicely. And the gnome places one of the seeds in a strangely shaped bowl-like vise and gives it a squeeze, filling rows of vials filled with the oil. Excellent. Very well done, Singstalter. Your ingenuity continues to impress. Jar in particular, though, it's hard not to note. As you look around, many of the gnomes who are working on various personal projects scowl in Singstalter's direction for having been given such praise. As for you adventurers, the elder gnome goes, I trust it wasn't too much trouble. Normally Godric would take care of it, but so I've heard he's been quite waylaid. Now then, your reward. I know it's not much. And he slowly makes his way back towards his personal work table and drags two heavy-looking burlap sacks from underneath. 25,000 gold pieces. Your reward from the mayor. Spend it wisely. And he gives a toothy grin in your direction.
Gladly.
It's like, okay.
This is a lot.
Yeah. Well, a lot of wheel makes a lot of coin.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
My purse won't be so light any longer. Feels good.
And Singstalter, after beaming for a moment and enjoying the praise that was showered upon him for contracting you, upon you guys settling things and stepping outside, he goes, I don't think all that gold was just because you did the work. The mayor's right-hand man, Godric, he's quite capable, but there's not really too many adventuring types in town, per se. It's probably a means of assuring some kind of connection.
Well, then they should have said that.
Well, I thought they seemed a little suspicious. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I gotta go check on the batteries. You guys enjoy town, and I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again soon.
And, you watch your back with your fellows.
They'll grow to like me. I'm sure. And with that, he happily saunters off towards Morgan's paddle, the largest of the water wheels, and begins to work away within that large structure, which you know contains the mechanisms that charge the batteries that keep the lightning gate running. You guys are left with the sun still relatively high in the sky, though clouds approaching from the south, and the town open to you.
Did we want to ask about seeing the mayor?
Oh, yeah.
I think we probably will soon, one
Yeah.
way or another.
Sure, Rockbeard has a connection.
Yeah.
But the money. Shall we split it evenly? Seems most appropriate for me. I have some things in mind.
I'll take my even share or more, and no less.
Yes. We can do that for you.
Excellent.
Good thing we got paid. My purse was running pretty light.
I went to buy a book the other day. Didn't have enough for that. It was worrisome.
Well, like my bag was still full. I'm like, whatever.
There is virtue in scarcity. I could teach you to live off the land better.
I don't have to.
So let's see. There's Rotbeards. There's
Sure.
the market.
Yeah, the open market. That's pretty much the direction you're going to be forced to head anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as you begin traversing down, past the open town squares and the market and those going about their daily lives working in the gem cutting mills and the iron working mills, you see Zorn is purveying the bookstall outside of Rotbeard's, and he seems to have purchased a tome and is bundling it up. Zorn, your half-orc mage companion, and just as he treats his spell book, he wraps it up and places it under his left arm, and upon noting your approach, he looks towards Gilroy and goes, I found something. It's not just children's stories, though. The vast majority of them seem to be. I don't imagine you have some coin on you.
Just back from the wilds with a purse full of gold. And
This ended up costing me about 1,500. I'd be more than willing to toss the learnings over in your direction. And he opens up the book and shows that there's some useful-looking spells in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd like to take a look at it first.
Yeah. So the tome contains the first-level spells Disguise Self, Alarm, and Featherfall. The second-level spells Blur, Dark Vision, and See Invisibility. The third-level spells Sending and Tongues. And the fourth-level spell Fire Shield.
Quite a unique set of spells this mage gathered.
Yes, I believe he was a elf. I think he liked to delve into ruins alone. Hence the See Invisibility. Mostly defensive stuff, but
Yes,
not exactly up my alley, but worth keeping safe.
absolutely. Yes, I think you've been a good friend to me, Zorn, and I believe you will let me have another look at that book one day. I can help you with it. As 1,200.
Fair enough. Make good use of it.
Oh, so is he giving it to me right now?
Yep.
Oh, right.
You just kind of just... You flipped through it, saw it was a spell book, thought, oh, cool, that's not worth just sitting here on this stall, but figured that it wasn't exactly his line of spells, so better in your hands.
Okay.
And so as this exchange is going on, what would the rest of you like to be doing?
I want to check on Clara.
Sure. She's presumably in Rotbeard's with Arena.
Yeah.
Jara's going to want to look for Limeralt.
Okay. So you guys continue along into Rotbeard's.
Yeah.
That would be the place to find your
Yeah.
companions. And you do see that Arena and Clara are in the common room, and they are sitting with Godric, who Arena seems to have managed to nearly fully heal. And as you approach, Arena looks up towards you and Leander and goes, sadly it appears there's a distinct lack in capable clerics in the region. But Godric's feeling much better now. And Godric looks down towards you and he goes, yes, good work this one. And so I've heard you were successful in your foray.
Word travels fast.
Yes, indeed. Soon enough, Morgan's paddle will crank back to life. Good thing. I anticipate the giants will be amassing some sort of raiding party in no time. Luckily enough, he stands up from his seat, gives a big stretch, showing off that he still has quite the scar down his chest, but much more mobility than he had the last time you saw him. He goes, I'm feeling much better. I'm in your debt. I believe the mayor will be returning from her negotiations tomorrow. I'll personally introduce you.
That would be greatly appreciated, Godric.
Of course.
Godric.
Godric. Now then, I'm going to get some drinks in.
Perhaps we'll be joining you.
He makes his way to the bar and begins chatting up with the Etten, who is no longer wearing a bandage over his eye. Jar, you find Limeralt in a shadowy corner.
Okay.
And he, upon seeing you, gives you a bit of a nod and makes his way into a back alley.
And Jar will follow.
All right. And he begins rubbing his hands together. He goes, all right. My contacts are set? It seems Mayor Benneville is planning some negotiation with Clan Monar. Maybe she finally intends to show off Waterwheel to the world. When you meet her, take notes. Our friends back in Old Town will appreciate it, I'm sure. We'll want to know just what kind of allies and what kind of enemies we're dealing with here.
Indeed. I will take notes, but I already have some notes that you may wish to pass along.
Good work, Jar.
There, is it Clara? She has wings.
Does she now?
She does. They're feathery, angel wings. Very strange.
It is, rather intriguing, isn't it? Yes, I'll be sending message sooner than later, then.
There's this group that we met, they seem to have taken some sort of liking to me, a little bit, but they've asked me to travel with them, and I will keep watch.
You've always found yourself making yourself useful in one way or another, Jar. Well, seems I got some work to do then. Ever busy up here.
Indeed.
You, keep me up to date. Whatever they have you running around doing.
I will indeed.
Good.
You stay out of trouble. No more fines.
Yeah. We'll see what that Eden has to say tonight after a few drinks.
Oh.
So, Clara seems to have been sticking with Arena mostly, and has listened to Godric go on about his tales of surviving in the north, as she has not really experienced wilderness survival, living under the open sky and whatnot to any degree. And she seems quite fascinated with all the various creatures and beings that live around here, and the entirety of Waterwheel definitely seems to just be her kind of place. She doesn't feel out of place here among these people.
Talk to her a little bit. So she's like kind of talking about like the stories. That
Sure,
she
yeah,
heard,
oh yeah.
things like that.
That's the first thing she would go on about. But-
Yeah.
So do you pull her to the side, or just take a
Well,
seat
just-
next to her? Or?
Just like near her in Arena.
Sure.
And are you still with us, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of ignoring you, and I'm mostly talking.
No, it's all good.
All right.
Like, remember, they're only half as impressive and twice as dangerous as the stories say. So just be careful.
I will. I
Okay.
trust your advice, Maylee. You, well, it looks like you got hurt on the last one.
Twice as dangerous.
Noted. I think I'll stay inside the walls, at least until it's time to move again.
I think Leander walks up to Arena,
Sure.
puts his hands on the table and goes, "Did you make sure Bilberry was kept out of trouble?"
Yeah, I did my best, but he got into some trouble. he's
Leander visibly like just ready to like break the table.
Yeah, it's okay.
I could shoot him.
I
We haven't
think
fought together in a long time. Sorry.
I think he's just trying to do what he does best. He found some folks down by the market that reminded him a lot of his home. Little halflings that were struggling to get some food together. And exactly, it's really not as bad as it
How could he mess that up?
Well, he did manage to get him some food, but he's not just going to stop there, of course. So he said he was going to do some research into the southern estates in town, and well, maybe you should go talk to him up in his room.
He wasn't killed?
No, he hasn't been caught doing anything yet. I think he's planning for something tonight.
You know, that's all I could ask.
He's up on the second floor, right next to your rooms. I think number 13 or something along those lines.
I think Leander starts marching on up there.
Would you
Okay.
like some company, or are you good on your own?
You can talk with Clara.
Okay. I'm content staying downstairs with them. I
Okay.
offered.
So at this point, Gilroy and Jar, you guys come back into the common room. Leander is making his way on up. Erlon, what are you doing?
I'm just at the bar.
Sure,
And I'm
absolutely.
actually, it's probably pretty rude, but again, he's not super, he's getting more used to being in civilization, but
Sure.
he kind of like puts his axe on the table and he's like really examining it. Does it have any like runes or anything?
It doesn't appear to, though.
Nothing that signifies like a name or anything for it.
Nope, though it
Okay.
has more than enough space for you to carve something into it if you wanted to. And the construction, the very material of it, more weighty iron than you've ever felt. It maintains its edge perfectly. The roots, although twisted and gnarled for the handle, are very ergonomic, and it works very well. You know for a fact. Godric certainly appreciates it as you lay it down, and he goes, now that is a fine piece.
It's served me very well already. I nearly took a frost giant's head off with one strike.
Oh, it looks just like the types of weapons the Karadmoren used to use ages ago, but ever since the mountains ran out of mithril and adamantine and all the minerals that the dwarves, they stockpile those up. Well, anyway, the mines went dry. Since then, no weapons of that quality, no. He pulls out his greatsword, which is not exactly of the same magical essence, but
Yeah.
definitely fine craftsmanship. And he goes, this is about the work they can manage today. The craftsmen are just as skilled as ever, but the material, you just can't find the good stuff anymore.
Does that blade have a name?
Well, it might sound cliche, but they used to call it Giant Slayer.
Fair name in these parts.
Yes, well, it does its work well. With that, he resheaths it, and he goes, I'll be happy to use it once again. And how do you fare facing them?
They were quite mighty, but with my friends we were able to dispatch them pretty reasonably. One of us took a mighty strike, which I probably could have helped with more, but I was in the moment.
Yes, their blows are terrifying. And the first time you set eyes on one, you're just in awe at the size of them. Standing nearly 3 times as tall as me. Yet you have to be brave. You must be a mighty warrior. Let me get you a drink.
Thank you.
He calls out to Rodbeard, who looks up with his one big bulbous eye. What you want? And Godric asks for what they call mountain brew.
Sounds like something I'd like.
Yes. It no doubt is. However, it is this deep black liqueur. He takes a big swig of it, and he's going to throw a con check if you want to do the same.
I will.
He's feeling pretty fine.
Is it thick and syrupy?
I rolled a 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
After one drink of this, you're feeling a bit woozy, but that is fine. It's good and numb after the long day's work. And actually, it is not, this particular drink. So that is Erlon's encounter at the bar. Leander, you head on up to Bilberry's room. And you climb the stairs, and you see Bilberry at the end of the hall, looking down towards you, and he seems more excited than usual for whatever scheme he's concocted. And inside his room, he's set up a table. He invites you on in. And on top of it is covered in local maps, particularly the architectural notes of some of the local estates. He goes, oh, hello, Leander! So I've been doing some scouting and some planning, and one of the mayor's right-hand men, Galdoon, he's a mean old hobgoblin with a mercenary group. He's come in handy for water wheel in the past, but all he's really done is gathered up a whole ton of coin, more than enough to go around, and hoarded it for himself, and I am no fan of that. Not only this, but he's recently come in possession of a certain relic, a helmet. It's incredibly valuable to the right buyer. There's a lot of struggling folks around here that could use a hand, so maybe you could give me a hand with a bit of a heist.
Didn't make it.
You see, Galdoon is he's hosting a party tonight. And while the mayor is away, he's trying to garner up some influence with the other local leaders, probably in a rather underhanded way. All we have to do is convince the guards out front that we belong in there, and then get inside, and then make it to the second story, and then grab the helmet before anyone notices. Hell, the dishwasher's even in on the job. You'll get paid too, or at least maybe meet some interesting people.
Bilberry, I am impressed. Do you know who you're talking to?
You don't have to do
Your
it.
stupidity impresses me. But perhaps you should bring it up with someone else.
I want you to come, Leander.
I must say,
Go get everyone else.
good job not getting in trouble. Not getting caught.
No, not yet.
And Leander, I can't tell if he's incredibly disappointed or just he's got a very wide range of emotions going on towards reacting to Bilberry right now. But
Okay.
I suppose he heads on down and guys, yeah, Bilberry's got something for us upstairs.
Gilroy actually has another errand he wants to
Oh,
run.
sure.
So I just,
You'd have time within
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
exchanges, so
Right.
what would you like to do?
well, we can come to it after this if you want.
Sure.
Okay.
So you guys go
Yeah.
on up to Bilberry's room? Okay, where he shows you all his maps, and he goes, yes, Galdoon, a hobgoblin. He's really just a total big meanie, and we're going to take one of his prized possessions and pawn it off, and I'll be donating a lot of the gold to some struggling folk. So, here's the rough part of it. Galdoon is a little bit crafty in that he definitely doesn't want anyone seeing that he's hosting this party with all these big shots from in town while the mayor's away, because it looks a lot like he's trying to set up a coup. So he's got all these enchanted curtains all around the house, and it seems as if anyone passes through the curtains, then they give off some kind of horrible scream. So, second story work is a little out of the question. We gotta get in there and make our way on up.
So the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, precisely.
I like it.
With a little bit of guile and deception. We should be good to go.
It'd be nice to get some new clothes.
Yeah, get all fancied up.
I have to put a shirt on.
Not necessarily. We're in Waterwheel, so all sorts of oddities are a normal thing. They might just think you're super interesting.
I'll just keep my furs.
Are you in?
I'm not even there.
Are you in? I'm gonna have to explain this a third time.
We'll fill Gilroy in.
Okay.
I'm gonna get back to you on it.
You said it goes to good struggling people.
That's the idea. It broke my heart seeing those little folk, even the little goblins. Sometimes they get so little to eat. There's so much gold in this town, it shouldn't be that way. So, I intend to balance the scales a little bit.
What happens to your friends when the people who had the gold realize they don't have it anymore and these guys are eating? I find that flawed.
It's not a perfect system, but it's better than nothing.
That's where we come
That's-
in, Melee.
Well, these types of people, they don't like to admit it when things have walked away from them.
That's a little bit what I'm banking on. That's why I'm
That's
not
fair.
just diving into his vault, I'm going for a prized possession.
I
Well,
don't have personal experience, I heard from friend.
Right.
Well, if it helps many, then I don't know what I can do. As I'm like bumping into everything in this room, but
You will make an excellent distraction, Erlon.
I can see that.
well, I'll help, but don't count on me stealing anything.
No, that's for me.
I think there's others that can handle that quite well.
If everyone else here is in, then Melee will reluctantly.
All right.
We'll just
All right.
tell Gilroy we're doing.
Gilroy, what are you doing?
No, my intention was, it's funny you mentioned it, was to get some new clothes. So, yeah, so is there a tailor?
Yes, there is actually. Just up the way from the blacksmith, which you guys have not checked out, but it's a rather nice looking shop, though it is currently boarded up. Just closed because you presume, because they've been having to make replacement materials for all the various machinery, which is not running particularly well. Screws and stuff pop out all over the place, and you've personally witnessed it. So their entire manpower has been devoted towards that instead of making gear for adventurers. But just up the way is a place called Zimbak's Finery, which is ran by a tabaxi who has a good many silks and robes and the like, embroidered stuff.
Guess I'd like to enter.
Okay.
With a hello.
Hello, answers a older tabaxi with graying fur around his cheeks, and his eyes are a little bit dimmer than the general shine that they have. Zimbak, what would you be looking for?
Well, you wouldn't believe the couple months I've been having. And I sort of just like...
Oh, you poor man! He runs over to you and begins measuring out your, doing the whole tailor deal.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, this used to be a very fine robe.
It did, and it has a lot of meaning to me, but I think I'm ready for something new, something different, maybe.
Perhaps a new color scheme would do you well. I have a very fine magenta from Alaire.
Yes, yeah, I think that might do, yeah.
And he goes back behind his counter and unfurls a chest and pulls out this long silk robe of magenta, which he holds up high very proudly, and he goes, and I think it should fit very well. It is very fine craftsmanship. Some of the best spinsters in Alaire. 250 gold.
Okay. But I need one more thing. I've been thinking of changing it up a bit. Do you have any scarves?
Scarves?
Yes, it's quite cold out there.
I was about to say you are in Karadmoren, capital of scarves, in all of Alaire. Just gaze upon my scarf section. You note that to the right is a cabinet full of various colorful scarves.
Okay, I think...
All sorts of patterns.
I think for now he'll find something simple, dark, and long.
Okay.
And I'll purchase that as well if he'll let me.
Sure. 260 gold in total.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you. Tell your friends. Zimbaks.
Well, half of them just wear the furs of what they killed, the other half are clad in iron, so...
Come back soon, just you.
I may do that. Alright, thank you, Zimbaks.
Then, you reconvene with the rest of the group.
Yes.
And they explain to you Bilberry's scheme. And I think that is where we will cut to break, is with you in the common room of Rotbeards and the clouds rolling in as the sun begins to go down and the heist is about to go off. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. If you haven't followed us already, be sure to do so. And if you're watching this on YouTube, throw us a like, throw us a comment, let us know what you're thinking of the adventure, and we will be back in 5 minutes.